It is your girl Melody Almay, and welcome back to Melody Almay TV, the podcast. Happy New Year, you guys. I know it's been a while since I posted here on this platform, but I'm back and I'm better than ever. Today we're starting off this episode with another interview. I always want to bring innovative, inspiring people on the podcast every episode. I'm not trying to have an interview every single episode, but I'm trying to bring somebody different and somebody new and fresh on every single interview episode. And I have a very, very special guest today, and I want to go ahead and introduce her in this next clip. If you guys are new to this podcast, welcome. You guys are gonna love this content. I'm always having different inspiring conversations. If you guys are returning listeners, welcome back. Make sure you guys leave a 5-star review if you guys are listening, and if you guys are watching, make sure you guys go smash that subscribe button and smash that notification bell so you know whenever I make a new podcast episode post. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Okay, today we have Miss Kayla Gorden.
Hi everyone.
Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I can. So my name is Kayla Gorden. Some people call me KG, Kayla Hazel, whichever you prefer. I'm fine with either. I am 26 years old. No, I'm not 26 years old. I turned 26 this year. I'm 25 years old. God, I'm putting miles on myself. I'm 25 years old. I used to go to Jackson State University. I graduated from Jackson State University with a degree in civil engineering. I now work as an environmental engineer with a nice company that I truly love. I do love my day job. I dance. I'm a professional dancer outside of my working corporate job. I also work at the Dance and Dollhouse Factory in Stone Mountain, Georgia with Miss D.
Hey.
Yes.
How is that?
It's actually good. I really love it. I've learned that I don't have patience for children, you know.
Okay.
And it's not that I'm not a good teacher. I feel I'm a really great teacher, but I just don't have the tolerance or the patience for 5 to 7. Mm-hmm. When I do continue teaching next year and the new year rolls around, it'll probably just be the older girls that I teach, just because by the time I get to teaching, it's time to teach at 6 o'clock. I've already worked 9 to 5. Then I went to go work out. Then I go straight to the dollhouse. And it's just by then, I don't have the stamina or the mental capacity to just entertain 5 to 7 years old at 6 p.m. in the evening. I just can't do that. Yeah. So it's amazing outside of that, but I'm also learning a lot about myself as a teacher. And I feel like it's nothing wrong with that. I just don't have that mental capacity for children.
Yes, and you also learn as you teach.
I learn as I teach, I have to constantly have, to do stuff with them. But with my older girls, I can just let them stretch, let them figure it out, come back around, Yeah. I like that.
Let's talk about your college experience. How do people know you being the J-Set, okay? So tell me, how was it? What made you choose J-State? Mm-hmm. And what made you to choose J-Sets as well in that style?
Okay, so originally Jackson State was not my first choice. Honestly, HBCU was not my first choice. My first choice was Auburn University. I tell everybody that all the time who asks. It's really? I wanted to go to Auburn. I'm going to tell you why. My reasoning is so stupid. But at the time in high school, I was in love with Cam Newton. I was the biggest.
Really?
Yes, I'm so for real. I was the biggest Cam Newton fan. And when I went to Auburn University for a college tour, I saw Cam Newton. He's there. He came up to our college tour group. He was this one. He was still hurt, so he was on that little scooter with one knee up and everything. Came, spoke to us. God, took a picture with him. I don't even know where that picture is. My mom may or may not have it, but oh God, I was just this is my school. This is where I'm going. War Eagles. I bought a bucket hat, sweatshirt, sweatpants, shirts, cups. I was War Eagle down. But when it came to money.
Oh yeah.
My senior year, Auburn was a little expensive.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So I just didn't want to take out that many loans. Mm-hmm. I had a few scholarships, but not enough where I would still be coming out of school owing too much money back, and I just didn't want to do that. Jackson State was just the second option. It's not that anything was wrong with Jackson State. It's just that I already knew a lot about Jackson State already. Mm-hmm. My 2 brothers, I'm the youngest of 2 older brothers. They went to Jackson State. My mom went to Jackson State. Dad, cousins, my granddad. And then the biggest thing was my granddad coached at Jackson State. Mm-hmm. He was the most winningest coach. He's in the Hall of Fame. the College Hall of Fame. So he's very known at Jackson State, and he set up a fund for all his grade kids where we could go to any school in Mississippi and our tuition would be paid for.
Oh.
So I could have gone to any school in Mississippi, and so when it came down to money, it was like Jackson State, okay, you know. And I didn't want to do any other school in Mississippi, you know. No shade, but I just didn't want to do no other school in Mississippi.
Did you pick like were you looking at schools because of like the dance, like, or were you just looking at major?
Dance was never a factor in
Really?
like, and it's so weird because girls now, like, they're like, yeah, I'm going here for the dance team, but it's like dance was never a determining factor for my school. Like, I mean, if I was on the dance team, that was cool, you know, but at the same time, I wasn't going to school for dance. Like, I was going to school because I actually enjoyed that school. I mean, like, I toured any school that I thought of, I toured it. And if I didn't get that home feeling or feeling like, can I be here for the next 4 or 5 years? Because I knew I was going to do engineering, which is a 5-year program depending on the university. I just wanted to make sure I got a good feeling about it. And so that's just like, I don't know, dance was just not a factor. It was just, dance was really just a bonus.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was just really like a bonus. So it was like, I mean, if I make the dance team, cool, but if I don't, it's not a big deal.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
How was your experience at Jackson State University? Like, what would you tell somebody who is looking towards going to that college? And what would you tell them for advice as far as your major and as far as JSET's?
Well, anybody who wants to go to college, period, I tell them to just be prepared, learning to be on your own. Like, that's just the first thing. This was my first time truly being on my own. I had no friends. I had to make a whole new set of friends. My brothers were already gone. My cousins, who I knew, they were already gone. They were on their own separate paths. So I literally had to make a whole new circle. And I'm thankful for Jackson State because it's a real big family. It was like, although I had nobody there, I had a lot of administration, teachers who I met, teachers who knew me through, you know, my brothers or knew them through my granddad. You know, it was just like a big homely feeling, like off rip. So that was a huge bonus for Jackson State for me. Like, even if I didn't, as I like tell my brothers, drop the name card of, oh, I'm Kayla Gorden, my granddad's WC Gordon. If I never dropped the name card, I still got that feeling regardless. So I was thankful for that. So Jackson State is a true family. And I really feel like you really could get that at any HBCU. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, because I talk to a lot of people who go to different other HBCUs, Southern, or they go to Alabama State, or they go to even Albany State. Like, it's just that family experience. So I was thankful for that. JSETs, I enjoy JSETs, and this is no shade to any team. But it just wasn't that, like, drama factor of messiness. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm saying, but you know, HBCU dance line is huge. Like, it's freaking huge. So it's just
I definitely get that.
You know, and it's just like JSETs just wasn't messy. It wasn't messy. It wasn't, oh, you know, this is happening. Oh, the coach about this, you know, it wasn't that. Like, it wasn't. No, don't get me wrong. We did have our troubles. You know, every team goes through something. You know, they have those bumps and them humps in the road, but it wasn't a consistent drama or mess, because I can't do that. Like, I can't do that. If I feel like it's some mess, like, that's why I said I didn't go to college thinking, oh, I'm gonna be on this dance team. Like, that was never a determining factor for me, because I know what comes with being on teams. I know what comes with being around girls 24/7. So like, drama and mess, like, I can't do that for too long. Like, me, I don't never be in like just a mess. Like, you know, growing up, you do be in little 1-2 steps, but nothing that's like consistent. If I'm constantly on social media, if JSETs was constantly on the social media about this going on, I would have been like, hell no. Like, no. I'm not even trying out for the team. I'll go to Jackson State, but I'm not even trying out for the team because I can't do that. So that's a plus for me. And Miss Crowley, I just love my sponsor. She's just like such a genuine person. Outside, she just wants to make sure that outside of JSETs, you're truly like gonna be a great woman, you know? And I really appreciate her. Like, me and her still talk to this day.
Really?
Like,
That's amazing.
That's my girl.
Sponsor.
That's my girl.
Okay, let's go ahead and rewind before college, all the way back to when you first started dancing. Let's talk about the dance journey from day one, when you started.
Okay, the dance journey started middle school. So I was about, I really don't even know how old I was. I had to be at least about 13. Are you 13 in middle school? Like 6th grade? Are they 13 years old?
No, I think it'd be younger than the 11 is middle school.
Okay, well either way, 6th grade is when I started my dance journey. I didn't dance before that. I played softball actually.
You
and
did?
I really
Were you a tomboy?
I was. I grew up with 2 brothers, so it was like my brothers played baseball, so I wanted to play baseball.
Yeah.
Like that's what they were doing. So whatever my brothers was doing, that's what I was doing. Like it was so bad in elementary school. My brother had created like a neighborhood team. We would play the neighborhood. We would call each other as the Raven Springs Ballers. Like I was on the team. That's what I was doing. Like so while all my friends every Saturday going to cheerleader practice, like we're huddling up about to go play Edgewater, the next neighborhood over, to go play basketball. Like that's what we were doing, or kickball. Those are the 2 that we were interchanged between. But after that, it was time for me to join a real extracurricular activity, as my mom said. So I chose to do softball. Girl, I love softball. I played softballs all the way from T-ball up until 6th grade. And the only reason I quit is because I was getting real good at softball too. Like I became pitcher. I loved pitching and everything. Shortstop and pitcher were my 2 positions. Girl, threw the ball, because we now was at fast pitch. I was old enough to do fast pitch. Threw the ball, and this girl hit me in the face. The girl who was batting, she hit the ball, and it hit me smack dead in my face, girl. I was crying and completely traumatized.
Did it break your teeth?
No, it didn't break my teeth, but it knocked me out, girl. I was on the floor, like, oh my God. I was on the floor. Got me up, poured water on me, and I just started crying instantly. And I was just like, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even look at another ball without, fidgeting. So softball was that.
You know what that remind me of, girl? I was never a tomboy, but I actually did love playing basketball when I was younger. In middle school, I played basketball. I played with the boys, and I remember I was playing with my best friend at the time. And I remember we was roughhousing, and she hit me in like my jaw. And like my jaw ain't never been the same, but look.
Oh my gosh! That's crazy.
It still does that. Like if I open my mouth too wide, it cracks. Like
really? Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
It's never been the same.
That's crazy.
And I was like, fuck this basketball.
Like I can't do this.
Like, no.
I can't do this. That's what I said. I said, yeah, Ma, go ahead, take me out of here. I'm done with Wade Walker Park. I don't want to play no more. And so then she saw, like, even though I was playing softball, I still would dance around the house a lot. And she saw that. Like, I just like to perform and stuff. Like, she would buy me the Sierra. I remember when that Sierra CD came out with Like a Boy. She had bought me the album.
Ooh, I
the
love
deluxe
that
album.
I love that.
And it was like we could learn the dances. And so I was watching that every single day, like on the TV, dancing with Sierra type thing. So because of that, my mom put me in this Tupac, Amari Shakur performing arts thing that Tupac's sister was doing. It was like a 3-deal package. It was like you learn to sing, dance, and act with like working choreographers, working vocalists, and working actors, because it was a summer thing. But we started May, June, at the end of July, we would have a big show at like the 14th Street Playhouse, which was a big theater here in Atlanta. And so that program I was in for like 3 years, each year, going into middle school, every summer in between middle school, and I think going into high school. I can't remember. Or I think after that, I kind of stopped when I was going into high school. But anywho, I did that program, and that's when my love for dance like increased. Because it was like, we got to see which one we enjoyed more. Did you like dancing more? Did you like singing more? Did you like acting more? Did you like all 3? And singing, it was okay. I just knew I didn't have a singer's voice. I didn't care. I can't read music. Don't know how to read music. I tried learning to read music, but I had no interest in doing it. Acting, I just couldn't take myself serious. Like, I realized that's just not something. Like, I can't do that. I can't take myself serious. I really feel stupid. But dancing, like, I loved it. I had just completely fell. But I'd already loved dancing regardless before that, So with that being said, I started to grow up after the little Tupac program. All of us kind of started, and I'm saying all of us because it was like a really big family. We started to grow up. It was time for us to all go to high school. And so we went to high school, and I did my high school dance team. And that's when I really just fell in love. Like, that was just the start of, okay, I can see myself doing this, in college, or maybe not in college or whatever. But I love dancing. And so then in high school, girl, they actually used to hate us, like, real bad. I
mean, that's anytime. When I think of ballet teacher, like, I think instantly.
Yeah, like, it's just what it is. So, but I still loved it. I just loved being on the field performing. I loved being in the stands performing. Like, yeah, that was the spark of my dance career. But, like, being technically trained was not something that I did.
So in high school, they didn't, like, do technique across the floor with you?
In high school, we did small amounts of it. And I will say that actually one of my high school classes. We had a ballet teacher, and so for a class I would take in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of scratched the surface when it came to being technically trained, but I wasn't just heavy, you know. It wasn't really just my passion, just doing that anyway. Like I don't really see how people. No, I'm not gonna say I don't see how people do ballet, because whatever you like is what you like, but it's just not something that kept my interest. Like being on the bar all the time, it's not something that kept my interest. But majorette, dancing, being on the field, that definitely kept my interest.
So when you saw J-Sets, when was like the first time you ever saw J-Sets, period? Like, you just grew up watching J-Sets, or you saw them one time and like, oh my gosh, I want to be like, just like that?
My first time seeing J-Sets was actually my mom. She would show me pictures because my mom was a J-Set.
I had no idea.
You had no idea?
I had no idea.
Wow, that's crazy.
Shout out your mom, real quick. Shout out your mom.
My mom, she was a J-Set. She danced from either 80 or 81 to 83. And she was a J-Set. So she was always like showing me the moves. Like I been saw the march back when I was like in elementary school, the salt and pepper. Like that's just what she was always just showing me. Like I remember being so small, and she would put me on top of the dresser because I was so tiny. And we would just be dancing, like just
That's
doing
so
that.
cute.
I vividly remember those memories. That's a core memory for me. And so that was my first time seeing it, and we will always go to the games anyway. Like I said, my brothers went, and my brother, he played in a band, so we would go to the games for him. Or even before they went to college, before my brothers went to college, my granddad
What
would
is
take us to the
the
games.
age gap difference between you and your brothers?
My oldest brother is 6 years. We're 6 years apart, and then my second to oldest brother, we're 4 years apart.
Okay, so it's like you basically was like almost only child, cause
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
definitely.
Because my siblings are 8+ years older than me.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so it was kind of like that. When they both were at Jackson State at the same time, I definitely had my only child time, which was great. But I was constantly seeing, like, elementary school, we would still go to Jackson State games. Middle school, so I'm seeing J-Sets 24/7. You know, it was just like I knew what it was about already, and I loved it. I loved the style. It's not like I didn't love the style. But I just didn't grow up doing it outside of me and my mama just playing around in the mirror or something like that. So
that's really interesting. I had no idea that your mom was a J-Set.
that's crazy.
None.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad, and I think that you are so talented, you guys. I literally have to mention, we took our first class together. You guys, I was so nervous. Honestly, this is my first Atlanta class. If you guys watch my YouTube vlog, you guys go pay attention to that. I'll make sure that I link it down in the description. I took Shiraz Jazz Funk class.
It's no joke. That's first and foremost.
First off, yeah, I really do like the Atlanta dance community way better than LA.
Really?
Yes. Because when I came there, it's like, hi, what's your name? Like, you're doing good, you're doing great, good job, you know.
Yeah.
In LA, they dancing on top of you. Like, this is the audition. They looking at you like, girl. Like,
yeah, that's irritating.
like, it's just a whole different vibe in Atlanta. Like, I feel like as far as the push, you get the same push in LA as you do Atlanta.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole vibe is different because you feel more welcome. And then, like, I feel like at the end, the camera's not in your face. Like,
yeah, it's not. If they're definitely gonna make you comfortable, and they say that. Like every choreographer in Atlanta is gonna preach. Make sure that you supporting each other because you were there at one point. Like Shiraz tells me that all the time. Even before I auditioned for the Sean Bankhead thing that I was telling you about, he was like, make sure that when you go to the audition, you're gonna be auditioning with people who've been training for 15+ years, but you're still a great dancer. Like, just know that those dancers were just in your spot. It's just such a supportive community. Whether you're doing good in class or you're doing bad in class, they still gonna say, good job, like you're doing good. You know?
It's like when we doing across the floor, I was like, oh, this is literally me. Like, I was so happy. I was having so much fun. But when he started teaching that choreography, y'all.
Yeah, Shiraz
he was like, all right, it's one.
He's definitely serious. Shiraz does not play but Shiraz is so technically trained. He's danced with every great that you can think of: Debbie Allen, Janet Jackson, Paula Abdul, Mariah Carey. Yes. Shiraz is just so talented.
And he's young. He's only 24.
Yeah, he's not 24. I think he's 28. I think he's about to be 28.
Okay.
But still young.
Yeah, still young.
Still very young.
Still very much young.
Yeah. But Shiraz's amazing. Love
yes.
Shiraz.
So, how do you feel about moving back to Atlanta after you graduated? How was the transition from college to adult life?
The transition was very hard. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a season of depression from like maybe about 5 to 6 months right after graduation because
that's honest.
I was in a real depression. Like I was like, Mom, like, I don't got no money. You know what I'm saying? Or I feel like we all have these dreams of, oh, as soon as I graduate, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna get myself this, I'm gonna be living here. Like, you know, we all grow up or at least in high school, we all be like, by this age, I'm gonna make sure I have this, I'm gonna make sure I have this. But when reality hits, it's never the case. Okay, so as soon as I graduated, I applied to so many jobs. I was offered a job in Mississippi to work as a geotechnical engineer, but there's no way in hell I was gonna say Mississippi. Like, no shade to Mississippi, love Jackson. But I just didn't want to be in the state of Mississippi because dance was my number one thing. I want to be a booking dancer and eventually choreographer, but I wasn't gonna be able to, you know, chase that dream in Mississippi. So LA was also an option too. LA was just too expensive and it was so far away. I just didn't want to go all the way out that far when I feel like Atlanta had just as good training.
It really did.
You know? So I was like, I'm just gonna move back home and I'm just gonna start applying to jobs. Applying to jobs, nobody was hiring me. I had got a lot of interviews. Oh, well, we just filled the position. Is this, is that, and the third. The only reason I had a little bit of money is because Miss Diana instantly hired me to start teaching, which was cool. But it wasn't nothing that I could just live off of. Like, actually get an apartment and live. Like, you know, enough to get me by. You know, not saying like Miss Diana doesn't pay because she does pay good. But I wasn't teaching that long enough to even be getting like something where I'm gonna have a place to stay. So I still needed a job and I still wanted a job to work. So that transition was hard. Like, I would teach at the dollhouse, I would go work out, and then I would go take classes. Like, that was my schedule. And I just remember one time coming back from a class that I was taking, and I was just, my mom was just right there and she was just talking to me and I just started crying. I was just like, I just feel like I'm stuck. I don't have no money. My car needs to be fixed.
You're working so hard and getting no results.
You're working so hard and getting no results. And then the gigs that I was booking wasn't trying to pay. It was just like, what is my next step? Like, what am I doing? What am I doing about to do next? You know, it was just that there. So I feel like everybody goes through that phase right after college. Like, what's my next step? You know, it was hard, but I finally got a job offer January of 2022, and who I'm with now. And it's just, I felt like the rainbow at the end of my storm is here. And so, but it was hard. I was in a true depression because I didn't know what my next step was, you know, so.
Yeah, and me and my friends was just literally talking about this. Usually at the time where you want to give up is literally when you're literally right there.
Right there.
So you guys, if you guys are listening, if you guys are watching, make sure if you are really working towards a goal, make sure you do not give up because you never know how close you are to the end.
No, truly. And it's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard.
It's going to be hell, really is what it is, but you're gonna get there. Like, that's really what it was. I've never been the type of person to just quit. I don't know if it was just because my mom, like, she just instilled that into me and my brothers, but it's just like, you just gotta keep going. Like, that's literally my mindset. This and this has happened, but I mean, what am I supposed to do? I just gotta keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's like for real my mindset, no matter what. So.
And being a dancer is such a hard career because you hear so many times, no, 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 no. You're not good enough. You're lacking this, 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 this. You're not getting that gratification. So it's like that one yes literally makes all those no's.
It is. You're gonna hear a lot of no's before you hear yes.
Yes.
All the time.
So what would you give advice to those who want to move to Atlanta and pursue dance as a full-time career?
I actually get this question a lot. So many people in my DMs, hey, I'm going to Atlanta. I want to do this. And I'm like, y'all, do y'all really think I have the answers?
I don't know y'all.
I don't know y'all. Like, but no, I tell anybody, if you want to move to Atlanta or LA or wherever to pursue a dream, you need to make sure that you're moving there for the right reasons. You're moving there because you want to follow your passion, but understand that these are huge cities that you're going to, and it's so many distractions to get you off course. So if you're coming to Atlanta to dance, understand, okay, Atlanta's rent is high. Okay, the cost of living, that's the word I'm looking for.
What is the average cost per month do you like for a nice apartment?
A nice apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment, and this is before like water, you know, electricity, utilities. It would be about a good $1,700, and that's on the outskirts of Atlanta. If you're trying to stay downtown, I know someone who I dance with, and hers is like $2,000.
Okay.
And that's a 1-bedroom. This is before utilities.
Oof.
And that's in the city of Atlanta. So I would say look on the outskirts, which are still nice apartments like North Druid Hills, Spring Hill area, and that'll be like maybe roughly $1,700. That's before utilities. Sometimes it can be after utilities, just depending on the place, but you need to at least have 6 to 7 months worth of rent. At least, I tell people $12,000, $14,000 saved before you just come up and move to Atlanta. Because especially if you don't have a job, like already set up in line, and even if you do got a job, your whole check gonna go to rent, you know? So it's just like, you gotta save that up. The cost of living is high. So if you move to Atlanta to chase your dreams, the cost of living is high. You need to have money saved.
It's about what to LA, because I'm really transparent with my followers that I pay $2,500 a month for my apartment. Yeah. So that's about what.
And I know that's crazy. I already know LA is 10 times more expensive. But if you come into these big cities, you need to make sure you have money saved. You need to make sure you have a job lined up. And even if you don't have a job lined up and plan to get a job soon, make sure it's a job that will be in line with the dream that you're chasing. So for instance, you need to make sure that job is available, because somebody could call you real quick. Hey, I have an audition tomorrow from 2 to 5. You need to be there. But if your job is a 9 to 5, how you gonna make the audition? Right. You know what I'm saying? Or if you plan on training, let's say you get a job as bottle girl, because I've seen people who do that. You be a bottle girl, but classes start in the evening. So now choreographers are not seeing your faces because you're not coming to class, you're not going to the studios because you at, work. Or even if you do somehow make it work, go to class, then go do whatever it is that you're gonna do in the club. And I'm saying the club because I know so many people who just go get a job working in the club, which is no problem. But now you're not leaving the club till 4 in the morning after you done got your tips, counted your money. Now you gotta wake up and go to audition that starts at 8 in the morning. So it's just like, make sure that you prioritize your job to fit the dreams that you're trying to chase. Don't get distracted, because it's so easy to get distracted. You will face challenges, a lot of challenges, whether that be financially, whether it be spiritually, mentally, physically, because dance is wear and tear on your body as it is. Yes. Understand that those challenges will come. That's not nothing that you can avoid. Like, hardships is gonna come. You just need to make sure that you have the right mental capacity that's gonna get you through that. So if you know you're a spiritual person, make sure you still go to church. Like, I be having to remind people that all the time. When the last time you've been in church? Like, you're asking God for all of this. And this is if you're a spiritual person. I make sure that the person I'm talking to is spiritual, like I am, because I really am. I'm like, hey, you're asking God to make this happen for you, but you're not making any time for him. So I just always like to just remind people to just bring it back to, when you chase your dream, you need to be in the right mental capacity. And you're not gonna always be in that mental capacity, but you need something to fall back on. And when my fall back on is God, like, that's just my fallback. When I'm not mentally here, like, ooh, this is hitting me physically, I'm hurt, my body is tired, like, what am I about to fall back on? And I just start praying, I just start looking at my notes from my lectures from church, and that's just what I do. Like, that's what I do.
Yes, girl, I love it. She's just so well spoken, y'all. I love it. I wish I could speak just straight through in a straight. See, I can't fucking speaking a damn sentence. See, you know what?
Stop it.
And it seems like you're like you in front of whoever. Like, you don't change up, code switch, or none of that.
Yeah.
I love it. And you guys, how I met Kayla is from the HBCU Dance Affair.
Yes, the All-Stars.
All-Stars team. Yes.
All-Stars.
I still want to do that.
We used to be lit. Like, we was lit. We used to be so lit. Like, we had them issues, but we used to, any city
only
we was in.
control. Girl, did he pay you?
He paid me.
He didn't pay me. He still has not paid me to this day.
That's crazy. But I was on him though. Like, were you on him?
Yes, I was on him. And I shouldn't have to be on you.
True, I shouldn't have to.
Like, we signed a contract.
I do understand that. I want to say he paid the J-Sets from my understanding, because we didn't have an issue. But I'm not sure if all the seniors were paid. But I also don't want to misspeak, because I really don't know. I can't speak on
But at least, but you know that he paid you.
Yeah, he paid me. I can't.
Would you work with him again?
I have nothing against Kentrell. I don't mind working with him or anybody like who I've done business with. Where I'm at now, I would make sure that I have a contract, not only for him, but other people. I just feel like I'm at a place now where I need legal binding information.
Yeah, but some people like him don't respect the contract.
Really?
Yeah, because I signed the contract too.
Oh.
And then remember one of our HBCU All-Star team members, she said that she was gonna get a lawyer. You know who I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about. We did have that contract. I really forgot about that though. Dead serious. He had actually asked me to do a gig recently. I want to say this was maybe like 4 months ago here in Atlanta for something majorette related. But I couldn't do it because I had other plans. I feel like Kentrell's in a space where he is trying to figure things out. And this is what I tell people all the time. I feel like we have to come into certain situations looking at people's perspectives. Yes, Kentrell did pull this stunt or whatever, but can we 100% say that those were his intentions?
I feel like it was his intentions only because I kept reaching out to him and he just kept on one, ignoring me, or just two, having an excuse and then never ended up paying me.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you can give people excuses just for a certain amount of time and then it's just like, okay, this is who they are.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
But you know, people are different around other people.
And I was just about to say that too. People are different depending on who they're dealing with. And I pray that one day you get your money, sis. Because that's crazy.
You know what? I'm just going to let it go, let God, you know.
Let go, let God.
I let it go a long time ago, but I just, you know.
I swear to God, I never knew that you got paid. I thought eventually, because I feel like one of the people from Milk Mafia said that he paid all the dancers. Didn't he fall out with all the Milk Mafia people?
Yeah, he did fall out with all of them. But
and I thought that they said that they were upset because all of us were paid and they weren't. That's why I was like, I didn't know that everybody.
I knew they weren't paid, but and I thought we wasn't paid. And they said that he just kept all the money. But he eventually paid y'all.
Yeah, he did. Now, he didn't pay us in one full sum. It was like, all right, you owe us this, you owe us this, you owe us this. So, yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Girl, yes. We'll never be working with Kentrell. But you know what? I do want to do, like, another HBCU dance for, maybe we call it something else.
Yeah.
But, like,
because we had a time.
We had a time.
We had AIDS.
And I feel like it's so helpful for young girls and, like, you know, boys who are, you know, dancers and look up to us as HBCU dancers. Yeah. And I feel like we need to have another platform such as that, except more professional.
Yeah, we had a time that like even the tour, like it was so much fun. Yes. Oh my God.
What was your favorite city you visited?
Houston. Did you come to Houston?
I don't know. Shit. I know I came to Atlanta, Chicago, and I came to New Orleans.
Yes. You didn't come to Houston.
I don't think I came to Houston.
Houston topped everything.
Dang.
I'm not even gonna lie. Houston topped.
Where was I?
Where were you? Why was you?
I don't know.
Houston topped everything. Like, shout out to my people from Houston. Houston showed me a great time. And I will always go back to Houston because Houston showed us a good time.
Girl, how do you like my city though?
Chicago was good. I feel like we were trying to go out. Did we eventually end up going out?
Girl, I ain't going nowhere. I was in the bed. Maybe y'all went out.
No, I remember us traveling around in the van, and then it was so cold. Like, we was literally trying to go somewhere, and we was all freezing. Oh my God. But that was also the time that the trucks had broke down, right? And then we go touring around the city.
Y'all, they had them riding for a whole 20-something hours. All the way from Atlanta to Chicago.
That was crazy.
I could never. And then he said he gonna have a nerve to say he fell asleep while he was driving.
Yeah, we had some time.
Girl,
that was crazy.
That was crazy.
That was really crazy. No, for real. But the experience was just funny. I was thankful that although we was going through hell with all of that, we was around people like, you know, like I feel like all of our personalities fit kind of in.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
Like I felt like it was a real well-picked team. Like, although some people might have been introverts and some people might have been extroverts or whatever the case, we still mixed well and we respected each other's like, are you okay? Well, this is how she is, but we still getting along. You know, like, I really just enjoyed that.
Exactly.
Y'all made it good.
It was so much fun. We definitely have to do that again.
We for sure do that again.
Okay, you guys. So now that we've got Kayla's background and you guys are getting warmed up with Kayla Gorden, we're going to get more into it, okay? We're going to go ahead and get into the supporters questions. So I wrote down some, and I have some in my phone. Let me grab my phone real quick, too, that I posted on Instagram, a poll saying, any questions you guys want to ask Kayla Hazel, what do you want to ask her? So, first question is, how do you balance a full-time job in your dance career?
I feel like I balance it well. I've become a very organized person. You walk into my room, I have calendars and whiteboards up everywhere in my room. Sticky notes, pens. I have pretty much organized my schedule to a T. But I'm also not like a frantic organized person where if something goes off that organization, then I completely lose it. But I'm happy that I've become organized. But with that being said, I work from home. It's hybrid, but I work from home, and sometimes I go into office, sometimes I don't have to. I always work from home though. So with that being said, I'll be at home most of the day, and then I'll go work out at 4 4:30. After that, I work out from 4:30 to like 5:30. I'll go teach at the dollhouse at 6, and then I'll go to dance classes. But because I work from home and my workout place and the dollhouse are all within like 15 minutes of each other, the time just works out perfectly. So I set my schedule that's literally like Monday through Friday. I only teach the dollhouse on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but I work out Monday through Thursday. So my schedule interchanges, but I'm just thankful that I have an at-home job. That's the most important thing.
That's amazing. How do you stay motivated to work out? Because I need to know your motivation. I told myself in 2023 I was going to be a better me.
Let me tell you, only reason I stay motivated to work out is because I pay for a trainer. That money is not going to go to waste. I'm not one of the girls who can go to the gym, get me a Planet Fitness membership, and expect to actually go. I'm not going to do it.
I'll be sitting there on my phone.
I'm going to be on my phone, and then I'm going to be like, okay, this was enough time. Like, this is enough sex, you know? Or I'm going to go in there and I'm not going to know what the hell to do. Like,
or I get tired, I'm ready to go home.
Exactly. So I enjoy the fact that if I pay my money for something, that $200, I'm going to get my money's worth every single time. So that's really the only way I can stay consistent. I pay my money for it because I don't want my $200 to go to waste. And my trainer, he's very, like, let's say if I take 2 days off, all right, you took 2 days off, now you need to come to the gym, you know, he'll say that. So he kind of pushes me to, and it's always something different. I can't go in the gym doing the same thing every single day. And if I didn't have him as a trainer and did get like a membership somewhere, I would be in the gym doing the same thing. Now I'm gonna be blown and not gonna go. So I gotta pay for a trainer. That's the only way.
That's smart. Go get a trainer so you can get somebody to motivate.
Go get a trainer. Go get a trainer. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Can you share more about your engineering professional career?
Oh my gosh, okay. So I work as an environmental engineer, like I said. I mainly work with a lot of industrial facilities. So I'm trying to explain this for everyone to understand instead of talking in like the engineering language. So basically, I go to different facilities. Let's say, for example, I'm working with a trucking company, which is a vehicle maintenance facility. I would go to this trucking company, and let's say this trucking company is located in Alabama. I go to this trucking company, and this trucking company specializes in fixing trucks, the big 18-wheelers that you see on the highway. I make sure that the work that they are doing at this trucking facility falls in line with the permit that the state of Alabama has put out. So the state, not even just the state of Alabama, but all states, are laws that they have to follow when it comes to industrial facilities. So like oils being used on the property, like you can't just have a big 10,000 gallon oil tank and haven't reported that to the state. Like, you know, because if that tank spills, now you have a huge oil leakage on the earth. So it's basically making sure these permits and these laws are set into place to make sure that you don't fuck up the earth. You know, like just trying to be blunt about it. You can't do work without reporting it to the state of Alabama, to the states, period, because we need to make sure that it falls in line with keeping the earth safe. So we're there to make sure that you're following those laws. If you have any questions or if you're confused about anything, like we have to write a plan, and the plan is called SPCC or a SWIP plan, SWPPP, and those plans, every industrial facility technically has to have one. So if like OSHA or somebody was to come to your facility and see that you don't have an SPCC plan or a SWIP plan, then they can shut you down, type of thing. Like it's very legal, like every big industrial facility has to have one. So we're there to write those plans for them. Go visit their site. All right, well, you have this is in violation of the state, of the permit, this is in violation, this is what you need to do, this is how I'm gonna write my plan, and this time you have to follow the plan. Okay. So it's like that. So I deal with a lot of you know, the other people. I deal with a lot of them. And
it sounds like she knows exactly what she's talking about when it comes to her job. She sounds like she knows what she's talking about.
Okay. Because I have to read those permits like in depth before I even go visit these sites. And I can say that in the beginning stage, it was a little weird because I'm talking to this old white, because most of the time they're old and white and they country. And I'm usually talking to them and they're looking at me like this young black girl telling him what to do. And like a lot of times they don't want to listen. And then I'll hit them with I'll then have to report this to OSHA and your whole facility will be terminated. Like, you know, so then they're like, okay, well, what do we have to do? Then they want to start listening and stuff.
Be nice now.
Yeah, so it's like sometimes I kind of get a little happy about that, you know, telling them what to do and stuff like that. But that's my job. I work with a lot of other projects. Those are the main projects I've been working on as of late. But it's different other stuff. All the work that's being done is to make sure that whatever job that we're hired to do, we're making sure that it's in rights of the state. making sure that you're not doing anything illegal that's going to mess up the environment in the long run.
It sounds like something important. Okay, moving on to the next question. What's been your favorite dance project since graduating?
Since graduating, so it's had nothing to do with J-Sets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know that the J-Sets y'all had worked with Mac.
Worked with Mac.
Oh my God.
Great. Mac sent us a nice big makeup box too.
Really? Do you still got some makeup from that too?
I do, but it's kind of like dispersed everywhere.
Yeah.
But the box they sent us was so cute. It was like 5 lipsticks, eyeshadows, highlighters, and everything. Yes. Shout out to Mac for that. Okay, but after that, I have worked with a project that I did with Jeremy Green. He's a choreographer. He's Lotto's choreographer, actually. Or at least he mainly works with Lotto. I just recently got to do a visual for him. And it's been so crazy because I've been trying to get his attention for the longest, like get him to notice me. In this last project, he was like, where you been? Like, you know, what's up with you? Trying to get, so I feel like I planted a seed in that last visual that I got to do with him, for him to start remembering me, like, yeah, put me on tour. Yeah, put me on
book
tour.
Her.
Book me.
If y'all watching, y'all artists, book her.
Okay, like, I can dance. So that was a really exciting project, just being in that room. It just kind of just let me know, like, just keep going, like, you almost there, Kayla. It literally gave me that feeling. So that's really why that was my favorite project, just because the feeling it gave me. Let me know. Ooh, you right there, sis. You right there.
And y'all, she is so talented.
Stop it.
I just cannot wait to watch your journey get even better. It's only going to elevate from here.
Yes.
So, how is coaching for the Dancing Dolls in Atlanta again?
I technically do not coach the competition team. Although Miss D has just recently asked me now, she's like, hey, Kayla, you ready to coach the team? And I'm like, ooh, Miss D. And the only reason I'm not 100% sure about it is because I'm still chasing my own dreams. And I feel like if I was to completely take over and then begin coaching, or at least assist engineer with coaching the competition team, that I wouldn't have time for myself to follow my dreams, you know, because you'll be going to practice, you know, with the dolls. Then I'm missing out on going to class.
Yeah.
Then I might miss out on auditions. And if I'm going to be committed to something, which if I would be committed to coaching the competition team, I'm going to be committed to it. Like, you know, I'm not going to just BS the girls. I'm going to make sure I'm there. But then I feel like I'm going to be putting myself on a hold because now I'm helping, you know. So it's like I don't even want to put myself in that position solely because I just don't. You know, I'm still trying to get my, you know, I'm trying to do this.
Yeah.
So what I do is Miss D has offered a situation for people who are not on Dollhouse. You can come and take classes. So kind of like how, you know, you came to Shiraz's class as he's teaching us at Excel. It's kind of like that she does there. She brings in these regular teachers that teach at these specific times on these specific days. And you can come take these classes. And then at the end of it, it's a big recital that we have in May.
Okay.
So that's what I do. I just teach dance classes at Dollhouse. But because the classes I teach are majorette, Miss D makes it a requirement for the competition teams and everybody who's in Dollhouse that's already on the team to be in my class. So they have to take my class regardless. I don't think it's a requirement for them to take the others, or it might be. But I know my majorette class specifically, they have to be in and take. Just because it's majorette, so. But every now and again, Miss D will have me come, like if they have a big competition coming up, Miss D will have me like kind of stay after and say, hey, can you look at what they have prepared, critique, change, so making changes. I kind of help with that too.
Next question. You travel often. This is questions that supporters ask, so I literally wrote it down exactly how they said it. You travel often. What has been your favorite vacation recently?
This is without a doubt. Punta Cana was my favorite vacation. Like, oh my God, I could go to Punta Cana again and again. And actually, I'm going back in May. And yes, I love it. That's so funny that you say that. My brother was just telling me, he was like, yeah, I was talking to, what's her name? And me and her both was like, dang, I wish I could be Kayla. Like, all she do is travel. I was like,
that's life, sis.
and that's what it is. Like, I feel like I prioritize my life to make sure that I work, I dance, I work out, and I have make sure my social life is just important. Like, I'm still gonna go to the club, I'm still gonna go out the country. And I travel a lot too because like one of my good friends, like my sis, she's a flight attendant. And so
she be having the deals on the flight?
She be having deals on the flights and the resort. So like
for everybody or
everybody. So it's like that Punta Cana trip was so inexpensive. Like, you know, it was like, I think we paid for like 4 to 5 days. We paid like $200 for the room, and this was an all-inclusive resort just because her discount was so good.
But I'm saying, how much was the flight though?
Well, see, the flight, I don't like doing standby. So me, I had just bought my own ticket, which was like a good little $700. But I have a Delta American Express card, so I have been what I've been doing to like keep up my credit, so I kind of get discounts on the flights.
What's your favorite airline to fly with?
I would always choose Southwest first just because of that.
Southwest. Yes. That's how I flew with them too.
Always gonna do Southwest first just because of the bags, but Delta would be second, you know. But then again, because I have so many Sky Miles now, Delta doesn't really charge me for the bags. I feel like if Southwest prices are a little better, I'll do Southwest. Southwest will still do first, then Delta. Okay. But I'll never do Frontier and Spirit.
I
will never.
It's like you're always gonna risk something.
It's
rather on the way there or on the way back.
And it's just like I don't even want to be in the air shaking because I'm just on this airline. Like no shade, but I don't want to fly y'all. Like I will never fly Frontier.
Oh my gosh! What if there's a booking and they booked you?
Then I would go buy my own flight.
Really?
Dead serious. Because I already get anxiety. I don't know what it is. It's like. For the past 2 years, I've just been having like anxiety on planes. So it's like I take Dramamine when I get on planes. Like I don't know what it is now. I don't really I'm not the hugest fan when it comes to flying.
You don't fly a lot.
No, I fly a lot. I just make sure I take Dramamine so I'm asleep the entire plane ride. Like, cause I fly so much, I'm always going somewhere, and so it gives me anxiety.
I thought Dramamine is for motion sickness.
I don't really know if it's specialized in motion sickness. I just know it puts me to sleep. It instantly puts me to sleep.
Yeah, because the only reason why I know of it because I went on my first cruise for my birthday, and I had to take it because I was literally getting seasick.
It didn't make you sleepy?
It didn't make me sleepy. It kept me up, but it literally knocked out that seasickness like.
Oh,
like
see,
minutes.
Dramamine puts me to sleep. And maybe airborne Dramamine or something. I don't know, but I always get it, and it puts me to sleep. That's the only way I'm gonna be able to fly.
So, what are your thoughts about Deion Sanders' controversy with him leaving JSU? They asked. I literally just found this out. I'm gonna answer this first before you do.
Okay.
So, I feel like people do what they want to do with their time and with their money. I feel like Deion Sanders did what he had to do. He contributed a lot towards JSU. He like literally brought so much attention towards JSU. He did what he had to do, and now he's moving on to a better opportunity. How y'all gonna get mad at this man if he want to get more money?
I do agree with that. I feel like there are multiple reasons on why people are upset, and I feel like some of those reasons are valid reasons for people to be upset. And I'm saying the reason. So I 100% agree with you. Like at the end of the day, you got to look out for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So. Nobody, or at least me, I will never tear down this black man for choosing to go to a better opportunity. Like I would never ever deny that. But I think that people are upset about the way it happened. Like being at the SWAC championship, seeing him rush the ceremony, hurry up and I guess take that celebration away from the guys who just won a SWAC championship because you're so focused on letting them know that you got to leave and then you have a flight to catch to Colorado. I feel like that was the wrong way to go about it. So that's really what started the anger of JSU fans, was how you were leaving and how all the attention was taken off of JSU winning SWAC championship and all of the attention was on you leaving. So that's really kind of where it comes into play. I also feel like when Deion came to JSU, you started a movement of bring the greatness to HBCUs. It wasn't even just Jackson State period, but leveling the playing field. Like I feel like you know, Martin Luther King started a movement. They looked up to him for equal rights. And so with Deion, you started a movement of leveling the playing field, having the 5-star recruits come to JSU, but come to HBCUs. You started that movement. So it's just like the movement was continuing, and then the leader of the movement just kind of like, all right, now I'm going to the PWI. And I put it in comparison. My comparison may or may not be wrong, but it's my opinion. And I feel like I have a valid opinion about it. I feel like Black Lives Matter, the leader, or I'm not sure who the leader of Black Lives Matter is, but if the leader of Black Lives Matter, who's getting all these donations from different groups, decides to go donate to police, then we're going to look at them like, why are you donating to the police? And we just said we defunding the police. Like you started this movement of Black Lives Matter. So lead the movement. It's not going to take 2 years to have the movement led. It's going to take a little bit longer, you know, but you started it. You said, oh, we're doing it for the HBCUs. Level the playing field. Bring the recruits here. Change up the program. Make sure that the facilities is right. Like, you know, and yes, you did do that. And JSU is completely thankful for that. But it still didn't just change in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? The minute you left, every player started leaving. Enter the transfer portal, enter the transfer portal. So it's like the movement just dropped. You know, that's how I felt about it. But at the end of the day, that's me looking at it from the outside. You know, I'm not Deion Sanders. He also could have made this decision based on being a father to kids who he wants to go pro.
Yeah, because he brought his son to his
Exactly. So it's just with me, I always try to look at things in multiple perspectives. I can't always be on the outside looking in. And that's my opinion on the outside looking in. But if I'm looking at it as a parent to children who I want them to accomplish all these things, realistically, the things that he may or may not want them to accomplish could or couldn't happen at HBCU. So I feel like we just all have to look at it at a perspective, and I feel like people also have to understand that people who are upset about it have a right to be upset.
Yeah.
They have a right, especially if you was at the SWAC championship. You definitely have a right to be like, the way that went about, I was like, are these people for real?
I
like,
had no idea that happened.
No, it's like he was literally like this on the field. Wrap this up. So it's just like, you know, like somebody would be upset about that, the way you go about it, you know, but I don't bash anyone. You do, at the end of the day, you do what you do for you. You know, you still got to feed them children at the end of the day. And if JSU is not making that happen, then you got to do what's best for you. So I feel like it's all about the perspective you want to look at something. But people do have a right to be upset. And I do understand their feelings about it. Definitely do.
That was a really good response. Okay, so let's move on to the next controversial question. Okay, so moving on to the next question. What's next for your dancing career? You're a beast, KG. That's what they wrote. You're a beast, KG. And I agree.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm actually kind of slowly but surely trickling away from majorette. Not completely just losing or leaving what I learned from being in the band, being in the band program and all of that. But I don't really want to be known for KG, the Princeton J State captain, for the rest of my life. You know, I saw or just can see like a lot of alumni everywhere, not even just J Sets, but who hold on to that for the rest of their life. And I don't want to be that person. Like, I want to continue to evolve. Like, even in high school was a completely different style of dance for me. I didn't want to be that dancer that was just in high school anymore. I wanted to evolve and learn something different. Like, that's just me.
You're a very well-rounded dancer, and that's really good to have, especially around this industry. You're not just jazz, you're not just ballet, you're not just majorette.
Yeah,
you're not just heels.
It's just how I love stepping outside my comfort zone. I love stepping outside my box because I don't want to be known for one thing. So my next thing is hopefully being booked on tour. Okay, like, that's my next thing, and then
that is gonna be next.
That's gonna be next.
And you know what I also want to see? You doing another class, like hip hop. I miss your hip hop like videos.
Everybody has been asking me for classes. I've just been enjoying being a student. You know,
I definitely get that.
I feel like I was such kind of like an amateur having these hip hop classes. Not saying I didn't, like, you know, that was just teaching me and how I dance. But I feel like my next class that I have, I want to make sure that I'm giving them the tools that I've learned from just being a student. So I really want to be a student for like another maybe year before I just have another class, just to make sure that I'm actually teaching how to be an intentional dancer, how to be like a controversial dancer. Like, how can I go and teach them like that and I'm still learning that myself, you know? So that's kind of why
she's so humble, y'all.
No.
But it's good though. Like, I definitely get that. Especially if you're wanting to be teaching on that level. You don't want to be ignorant to all those things.
Exactly. Just for money. Like, it'll never be for the money. I want to make sure that I'm teaching you the right thing, you know, and can explain it and be able to show you exactly what I'm saying. But if I'm still kind of iffy about it, you know, I can't expect to teach somebody that.
Next question is, what is the story behind you doing that count backwards in 2019? I have no idea what they're talking about, but I wrote it down.
I did a count backwards, and I'm gonna tell you exactly. And this was an old count. Like, this count wasn't even made by me. This count has been around for a really long time.
Okay.
So I dream a lot. I have like really weird, I'm not even gonna say weird dreams, but I really go into a whole different dimension when I dream. And like, I remember my dreams when I wake up like all the time. So I had a dream that the count was done backwards. And I can remember we was at a pep rally, we was in the AAC, and this was my dream. The people who went to Jack State, they know AAC, that's where the basketball team plays. And we were in the AAC and we were dancing, and I did the count backwards. backwards. Like that exact count, I did the count backwards. And then I woke up and I just remembered the dream and went to practice and told Miss Crowley, the coach, I was like, girl, I had a dream. I was like, we did a pep ride. And I was like, but I did this count backwards. And I was like, but it gave me an idea of what if we do the count the right way and then the next time I throw it, or even the second time we do it, I don't even have to throw it. It's done backwards. And I honestly don't even remember how I did it in the video or how I went about it. If I called it backwards, if I called it the right way, I can't remember. But that's what it was. It came to me in a dream. I said, let's do it. Like, let's see how this will look. Who can catch that is backwards? Like at that point, I think I was also dancing with 3 people too, which was already stressful for me. So it just was like, fuck it, let's just do it. Like, let's just do something. Like, let's switch it up. Like me, I'm all about let's change it up. Let's do this, because I will get bored myself very quickly. And if I'm getting bored with dancing or with what I'm doing, which is what I was doing, I was getting bored, then I'm always thinking of a different way to change it up. What can I do different? Because I'm getting bored. So if I'm getting bored, I know that the fans are gonna get bored. And it's not even about the fans, but at the end of the day, us being the dance line of the band, we're there to entertain the crowd. So if me being the captain, if I'm leading and I'm bored with what I'm doing, how can my crowd that's standing right next to me be entertained? I always just like having fun when I'm bored.
Okay, so here are some Crabb year questions that I want to personally ask, because I don't really know anything about KG's Crabb year. So how many Crabb sisters did you have your Crabb year?
3.
3?
There's 4 of us.
So out of your 3 Crabb sisters, who were you closest to?
Out of my 3, they switch up. It switches up by the day and the moment. I would say when I first came to Jackson State, my 8th boom coon was Niani Bailey. Me and Niani, who I call me and her was like this. Like that was my first ever real friend. Like, oh my God, me and Nee was like thick and thin, but Nee was also older than me. She was a year older. So I was a freshman and she was a sophomore, but she already had friends. I think once J-Sets, that season of J-Sets at the time, my freshman year kind of ended. I kind of just had found a whole new group of friends that had nothing to do with the band. Then me and Kristen got close.
Yes, I love Kristen.
Yeah. Chris, like, but if everybody thinks, no, she's not. Chris is older than me. Okay. So Chris came in 15, I came in 16.
Oh, she might.
Yes. So me and Chris wasn't even, and people, anytime I tell people that, I was like, me and Chris wasn't really just talking like that my freshman year. Like, I don't know, we just wasn't really talking like that. But then we got close out of nowhere. It was like, the minute me and her started talking, we didn't stop talking. And so after J-Set's East season ended that year, me and Chris just got real close. I don't even know how that happened, but that's my bitch for real. But Niani and my Crabb sister Mac, well, we don't call them Crabb sisters, we call them freshmen. It's like freshman sister.
Okay.
Niani and Mac, her name is Michaela, but we call her Mac. Mac, they're both my line sisters. So yes. Wow. So like as time kind of went on, Nee kind of started doing her own thing, and me and Mac just started getting real close. Like I could say right now, it's still between me and Mac. When it comes to Delta stuff, me and Mac are like this always. Like me and Mac gonna talk about something real quick. But me and Mac's relationship grew, because at first it wasn't like that. We kind of were like not as talkative, and it wasn't like nothing happened. We just weren't as talkative because I was always with Niani. And so, but then it was like as we just went on through college, like junior year, we just started talking a lot. And then Mac was still on J-Set, so it was a lot. And me and Kat is cool too. That's my other freshman sister, Kat. Her name is Kat. She's from Memphis. Kat just wasn't on J-Sets as long, but when we first was freshmen, we was still close with Kat too. But I hadn't really talked to Kat in a long time. Not saying like nothing happened. That's when it was just like I started talking to Nee and Mac more, you know. But outside of it now, like I still talk to Mac on a regular basis. I still talk to Nee on a regular basis. And Kat, you know, I'd be like, hey girl, I ain't talked to you in a minute, type of thing. Yeah, like that.
So we know that you have a very busy schedule between dance, work, teaching, just everything. You're just doing everything. So when do you have time for self-care? And when you do have self-care, what do you do?
So when you say self-care, do you mean like...
Self-care meaning like, what do you do to like pamper?
I'm not really a pamper person.
Really?
I don't know why. That's why I'm like, what do you
don't
mean
like to like take a bath and like do the face?
I hate baths. I can't do facials because my skin breaks out. So my pamper, I'm gonna not even lie to you, my pamper is literally just chilling somewhere in Atlanta, like maybe going
How about getting a massage?
I've gotten a massage once. And that's when I was in Costa Rica.
You need to get a massage. Go to the massage parlor and get a deep tissue massage. It's gonna change your life.
Yeah, I do need to start doing that. But my just self-care me time is honestly socializing. Like, if I'm bored or something, I call my best friend. I'm like, you wanna go to the boiler, or do you wanna go to the belt line? We go get a drink. We just chill and talk. Like, that's my relaxing self-care time. If I'm just sitting in the house, or if I'm just like chilling in the house, I start feeling antsy because I start feeling like I need to be doing something right now. Like, I need to be doing something. And I really do need to work on that because my mama said I'm gonna drive myself insane. But I don't really like to just sit. Like, when I say I plug in social life somewhere, I will plug in going to the club at night if all my friends is going to the club, and then wake up in the morning and go train and go dance for like 6 hours. Like, I know how to make it work, and I love that for me.
Okay, as long as you're happy doing it.
And I love it. I'm extremely happy with that. So
okay, so I went ahead and went to Instagram, you guys, and saw all your responses. So we're gonna go ahead and get into these Instagram questions. So what did you want to do differently for your second year as captain?
My second year as captain, what did I want to do differently? I think I just was mentally drained physically. Like, being a 2-year captain is just a lot of stress, and I don't think people understand that. It's just mentally draining, especially that second year. I can say that the only thing I probably would have wanted to do differently was just been a little bit more mentally there for the team, because like right around middle of the season, really a little bit before that, I mentally was clocking out. Like, okay, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this, coming to practice every single day.
And then you just have to be the first one there, last one to leave.
Yeah, so it's like, and my energy had to be okay, so everybody else's energy could be pretty decent.
And I remember you were telling a story about your crabs, and they was, y'all do running cuts. And you said you was pulling your crab baby, like...
Yeah, pulling her hand, like, I was so mentally just tired, y'all. I was so drained. So I wish I would have just been a little bit more mentally there and didn't clock out. I don't know if the senioritis started kicking in or something, but something kicked in and I was drained. And Miss Crowley started to notice that. Like, she would have a pep talk with me, text me like, hey, you know, and I'd be like, I'm trying. Like, I just don't want to be here. I just want to go have a drink.
Did it ever cross your mind to quit though?
Oh God, when didn't it cross my mind to not quit? Like, it crossed my mind a lot of times to quit this dancing. Like, I'm literally in the car after the merge. The merge is the first thing. It's like, as soon as band camp ends, they call it the merge, where the old band members and the new band members merge together, and it's a big performance. And then I think like the next week after that's the first game. After the merge, I'm in my car crying like, I just can't do this. I can't do this. Like, I'm thinking about a whole season we finna have to do. I just was drained, and it wasn't nobody's fault. I just was tired. I was really tired.
So after your second year, you was like, good riddance.
Good riddance. And they wanted me to do a third year, and I said,
really?
Yeah, it's like, no. But I think Miss Crowley knew that. She knew, like, she didn't even want to put that on me. She didn't even want to ask me because she knew I would say yes for the sake of her asking me. The director of bands at the time asked me to do a third year, and I was just like, DT, I can't even do that to myself. Like, I can't do that to myself. I gotta choose me. I gotta put myself first, Lucius. I gotta put myself first, Lucius. Like, and I said no, and he was really shocked, you know, and I was shocked myself, but I knew it. I knew I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't do it.
Okay, moving on to the next question. So, somebody nosy said, is she still with her boyfriend?
Yes, I am still with my man. That's my man. I just took him off social media because y'all are nosy, and no, it's not even y'all. I am truly turning my social media into a dance resume. Like, I'm so tunnel vision in on dance, and he's so tunnel vision in on football. Like, he just got to an XFL team. He plays with Orlando Guardians.
Hey.
Yes. First game is coming up, and like, I appreciate him so much because like, we both are kind of chasing our dreams, and we both support each other, and we both know that we're both looking at our social medias as resumes, you know. Like, truly, if NFL scouts, because he wants to play in the NFL soon, you know, which is gonna happen, NFL scouts come to his page, they see how focused he is. You know, choreographers come to my page, like really a lot of stuff is gonna be gone, like off my page. I still got more cleaning to do on my page, but I strictly want my page to be a resume type of thing. Like if I'm not posting nothing crazy on there, like, you know, I just want it to be just looking into like that. So that is the reason that I don't really just be on social media with my relationship. And two, I just feel like it's better if like you just not in no social media relationship. Like I feel like social media is a problem when it comes to relationships. And sometimes it can be, like sometimes it can't be, but I'm not here to show him off to y'all. Like, you know, every now and again I'll post him on my story or something like that, but you know, that's just that. Like it's
literally none of y'all business.
Right. I don't need choreographers on my page trying to find dance videos of me, and every single post is about him. So it's just like, I like our little privacy.
Yeah. When you have them private, it's like it's just all to yourself, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, it's all to ourselves. So.
Yes, I love it. Y'all know mystery babe gonna be mystery babe until it's not even about the engagement, baby. You gonna see my wedding pictures.
That's what it is. I'm really gonna pull a Issa Rae on y'all. Like, yeah, you thought,
That's when y'all gonna be mystery babe.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So what is the biggest advice your mom gave you, being that she was a J-set?
The biggest advice she just gave me was just to be myself. My mom, she doesn't really still dance. Like after J-set, she was pretty much done with dance. She just was like, you know, go in there, be you. Cause she kind of knew how it was gonna be. She was just like, go in there and be you. Like at the end of the day, she will always say this. She will always say, the minute you hit the floor, you need to be performing. Like the minute the judges see you, you could be walking from the bathroom or walking from the locker room, y'all getting changed. You need to be on at all times, if that makes sense. So, you know, even if I'm sitting there while I'm waiting to go, I don't need to be slouching or doing this. Like I need to be ready at all times type of thing. So that's advice that she gave me that I still do to this day. Like anytime somebody sees me or if it's something serious, like the minute I hit the floor, the minute the choreographer walks into the audition, I'm just on, if that makes sense. You know,
that brings me to the next question that I just thought of. What is some Atlanta dance etiquette that people don't know that you learned? Like for instance, I didn't know when I was in LA that when people are dancing, you don't sit on the ground. You stand up and you watch the dancers dance. You stand up the whole time, no matter how, if your feet hurt, if you're tired. I didn't know that. And I also learned that it's not okay to film the choreographer's choreography. It's like kind of rude, especially if you don't ask before. I didn't know that as well.
Small dance etiquette that they have is, for instance, if you're in class, make sure that you're always walking in the back of the room and not walking in the front of the room. Like, let's say if you're finna leave and you're trying to go to the bathroom or something to get some water, you need to go to the back of the room. I've also learned that you don't really just need to go in the middle of the choreographer teaching. You don't need to just go and get some water because you're tired or you need some water. You need to wait till they say, all right, y'all go get some water, or take a little minute or something like that. Then go and get some water. I would say that this technically isn't etiquette, but it has been like a topic on social media that I kind of just find funny. And I see some people agree, some people don't, but it was kind of like a thing where if you know that you're a slow learner or that you're not catching,
shut the fuck up. Don't ask no questions.
Shut up. Don't ask no questions and don't have your ass in the front. Because if you dead front, dead middle while the choreographer teaching and we all looking in the mirror and your ass is a messing up the whole thing, you need to be in the back. Like,
I'm glad you said that.
No shade. And then somebody was like, no, I just like to be in the front because that's how I can see the teacher, which I understand. I feel like it's different. You could see different ways, but me, I kind of just be in the middle. If I know that this is a class I'm going to go into that's different for me, I'm just be in the middle. If it's hip hop, because I've been doing hip hop for a long time, I'll be in the front. But if it's like ballet or something crazy, I might just be, I wouldn't even go to the back. I still be middle because I still do want to see the choreographer, but I'm not going to be dead center front and I'm messing up the whole 1-2 step.
Yeah,
not everybody looking at me.
My spot is in the front corner.
I do
the front corner. And then whenever the choreographer was like, all right, change positions. Y'all, I learned, don't move. That's when I started messing up because I can't see no more.
I was like that too, but I started moving because if I stay in my one spot, when it's time to go groups and I'm in somewhere, now I done messed up. You know? Yeah, so I have to start moving mentally for me. Or I may move to the next corner, or I may move like a step back.
Yeah, like the fourth.
You know?
Okay.
I'll just do that.
Gotcha.
A last thing I've also learned that was big, like if you just get done finished with a class and you know it's like a packed class and you want to go talk to the choreographer or something after class, don't just be like, what critiques do you have for me, or how did I do? I did that one time, and then like I remember a choreographer making a statement saying, you know, don't always just ask the choreographer how you do, especially if you're in a big packed class, because if it's 60 some people in the class, they don't remember just exactly how you did, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you wasn't one of the people who just stood out to them. You can ask anything like, what are you looking for, or what do you look for in dancers, you know, like rephrase the question. But if they don't just come off saying you did really good today, work on this, don't just say, well, what critiques do you have for me? Because they'll be like, shit, like, I don't even remember. What did you do? You know, you might have that awkward phase. So I learned that lesson. My next question will be then to them is, like, what are you looking for dancers when they're in class? Like, clean arms, lines, like, what are you looking for? And I just say that. And then if they say, oh, yeah, you had that, but work on this, then that's my critique. I just take. But
if you didn't get captain in 2018, who did you expect it to be?
I expected Chris to be captain. I honestly wasn't expecting me to be captain at all, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want captain. I think I said this plenty of times. Like, captain was never something I was just going for.
Y'all don't have to write like try out for captain and you just chosen?
No, you just chosen. Like, or at least we did. I know they used to do that. Let me not say that. Although they used to do that though, the sponsor and the band director pretty much knew who they had in mind. I think they still just wanted to see like who was committed and like what you would bring to the table choreography wise.
Gotcha.
But they had stopped that a while ago, and I didn't know that I was getting captain. I didn't know that I was even being looked at as captain, nor was it something I was looking for either. I kind of was just like a fly-by type of person. I used to be like that just because like I was just dealing with a lot mentally. I had just got out of like a bad relationship, and so I just was kind of like happy to be here, happy to be done with that toxicity, ready to just enjoy college and JSETs. Like that was my mindset. So captain was nowhere near on my plate.
When you focus on yourself and then now you have to focus on everybody.
Yeah, then it was like,
yourself.
oh my God, like y'all don't even know I'm crazy. So I don't even, so it's like I really learned a lot about leadership being captain. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so who from 17 did you take under your wing? Did y'all have like little sister?
We had squad buddies, but I really just would only speak to my squad buddy at that time.
Who was your squad buddy?
KK was my squad buddy. I was just the type of person to help everybody. Like it wasn't just no one specific person I was gonna help. So squad buddy was like cool, but me, if I had a note, I gave it to all of 17. Like I would just say, 17, if she doing it wrong, then I know y'all all doing it wrong, so I need to fix this.
Right.
Like, you know, I would just speak to them all at once. But outside of JSETs, it was party, school, have fun. Like I said, I just got done with a real toxic relationship, so I was really just happy to be out of that, just trying to figure out my next thing, you know, just trying to figure out me. And Miss Curly knew that, but when it came to JSET, I knew how to put business and fun aside, you know, so. But I would say my real little sister now to this day is Joy. Like, and even then I was
Joy.
Yes, Joy is my girl. Yeah.
And she a bomb as hell with the braiding.
Okay.
Period.
Favorite
memory as a freshman. What do y'all call it? Because I was about to say Crabb.
Oh, freshman. No, we just be like freshman or your freshman sister, or with my freshman sister.
Yeah, with your freshman sister.
Favorite memory was we were about to be late to band camp. Only one girl, no, two people had a car at the time, but one of the cars was broken, so technically it was only Mac who had her car. And Mac has a 2-door charger. So all 4 of us would fit in there, but the 2 that would be in the back would be squished. So anyways, we had to go pick up, and one thing Mac would do, she was so lovely, she would come and pick all of us up from our dorms. And so one time, neat ass was knocked out sleep. Like, I'm talking about, it was 4 something in the morning, because we had to be there earlier than everybody else. It's 4 something in the morning. Mac is hugging his heart. We about to piss me off. She not waking up. She is not waking up. Somebody gonna have to go knock on the door. Mind you, nobody could get into these dorm because we didn't have the ID. And we knew that the person up front wasn't gonna let us in. I just kept banging on the door to her dorm, like, please let us in. Like, we gotta go to this band camp. Need to sleep. I just need to go knock on her door. I think the person up front ended, like, I told her that her room number at the time. I think that person just ended up went to go knock on these doors, waking her up. Need rollers in her head, crust in her eyes, just knocked out sleep. Talking about, I'm sorry, y'all forgot to set my timer. I think we made it on time. I don't think we was late, but it was literally like a minute left. Everybody was pissed at me. Like, we was so mad at me. We in the car. You can't be doing that shit. You gotta be up. Like, you gotta set your alarm ahead of time. It was just, that was just the funniest thing. Like, although we was pissed, I think I was still laughing. laughing. Like, I think I was in the morning just laughing because I was delirious. Like, I was asleep. Yeah. So, like, the fact that we're really in this situation, this can't be for real. I'm just in the back like this. Just laughing. Like, it was just a lot, but that had to be the funniest today. I probably got 100 million more. That was just the one I could think of at the top of my head.
Yes. Yeah. So none of the upperclassmen knew that you was late?
No, because I think we literally made it at that last minute.
Wow.
No, like
literally the same thing happened to my Crabb class when our freshman year was like our first game. And then the same thing happened, but we was late and everybody knew we was late.
Not everybody knew we was late. Like,
Mr. Hamer was at the end of the hallway like,
oh, see, nah, we wasn't that bad. We weren't even playing
we got in so much trouble. Like, the upperclassmen was like, oh my gosh, like, they was just so embarrassed of us, like, because we just did not have our stuff together. But you know what? That's crazy. You know, it feels good to know that we weren't the only ones who had that problem.
Sometimes you just have your days, like.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You said one person woke up late, but in our case, literally, all 5 of us.
That's crazy. Now, that's crazy.
Did not wake up on time. And we had all of our alarms set. Like, that's crazy. Okay, so do you think you were a tough captain?
I think that my team knew me. I can say that, and this is not to toot my own horn, I can say that I was a well-respected captain, and I can say that my team didn't really try it because they saw me. They knew what it was when I would actually go off. But I also wasn't one of those captains who didn't lead by example. Like, if I ever snapped on them about something, it was nothing that I was lacking on that I couldn't snap on them about type of thing. So I wasn't like one of them type captains who was a bitch. Like, I definitely wasn't that because I feel like you can't communicate with people like that when you're constantly a bitch. I was learning to know how to communicate with people. Like, I know that, okay, this girl might be a little sensitive, so how I need to approach her still needs to be on like a leader type of thing, but also being able to talk to her specifically, because if I say it this way, if I talk to her like I talk to her, she might cry or she might start, you know, second guessing herself. So I learned how to talk to each of them individually, and then I learned them as a person, and then they learned me as a person. Like, they knew I wasn't a morning person, so don't come in the morning talking too much. Don't come in the morning just being dumb. Like, I would hate that. Like, anytime like something dumb happened in the morning that's just dumb, you weren't thinking,
it's too early
and it's gonna piss me off, and they knew I wasn't a morning person. So it was very selective on things that would happen in the morning. Come on your A game, especially if we're finna go travel and we need to run through formations. Also, if we're on the field too much, like I remember one time I had snapped on them so hard. It had to be like 12:30, and I want to say we might have been getting ready for Southern game, and they just kept messing up the formations. The band had already left, the band was done with practice, and we still out on the field. And Miss Carly was like, we gonna stay out here till y'all get it right. Like, the formation's right. And so I think that last time I was just fed up. And I literally said, the next bitch that don't make the formation, I'm gonna cut you my damn self. Get the formations right, or I'm cutting every last one of y'all. And I was so pissed. And Miss Carly didn't care. Like, all them knew when I was at my breaking point, that was my breaking point.
Because everybody knows you're a sweetheart.
Yeah, so it's just like, once you take me there, and they've seen it, like, they know once you take me there, it's there. So I would do everything to avoid going there. So just go ahead and do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure I'm doing what I need to do. If I'm bringing in this same energy of being on my P's and Q's, it's no reason why you're not on P's and Q's. And that's kind of how I led both of my years.
Awesome. I love that energy. Yes, that's how you build beasts.
Yeah.
That like pressure to make diamonds.
Exactly.
Okay, 2 more questions, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this interview. This is such a great conversation that we're having. I think this is so much fun. Like, I love having my interviewees come in, especially inspirational people. Such as KG herself. Okay, so how did you feel when you didn't finish with your babies in 18? Oh Lord.
Yeah, they reworded that. Okay, I didn't finish with my babies in 19. Was it? Oh, I'm getting my years mixed up. Anyways, I know what y'all talking about. I felt upset. I guess I went through a whole emotional roller coaster during that time. Of it being from a full team, dropping down to 6, then dropping down to 3. It was just a very emotional time. But, you know, I had to put my big girl panties on. I had to make it do what it do. So, I mean, I was emotional. Yeah, that's what you want to know. But, you know, I feel like the show must go on type of thing. So, that's where I was.
And you had to finish what you started, too.
I had to finish what I started. Like, although it's not a big squad, you know, that still doesn't mean I can lack in creativity or lack in entertaining. So, it just made it a little bit more complicated as far as like not having such a big force behind you, but still the show must go on. Like that's
and the show definitely went on.
That was literally my mom said, the show must go on. Like, you know.
Okay, so last question: how was it balancing dancing on J sets and becoming an engineer?
Dancing on J sets and becoming an engineer was not the easiest task. But the thing about engineering is people have to understand it's a lot of like partner work, because when you go into the engineering field, you'll never just be solely doing something by yourself. It'll always need to get reviewed by somebody else. It'll always need to be checked by this person. Like, it's constant team building, it's constant teamwork. So my peers knew what I was doing, knew that I was a J set, of course. So if I came late to like my senior design project meetup, they knew why, you know, or they would work around my schedule. Like, I was just grateful to just have people, but I also got close with them, you know, so I just let them know, y'all, my schedule's like this. I'm also online for Delta. Like, it's just a lot I got on my plate right now, but I'm very committed and I'm gonna do my part. But I know how to prioritize. Like, being in the band helped me really prioritize. All right, I gotta spend this much time with J sets, this much time outside of J sets working on the field, this time with my boyfriend, this time with my licenses, and I need to give this much for school. So I organized my week, Sunday through Saturday, of how everything would be planned and how much time would be given to each activity or thing I had going on. Yeah,
that sounds great. You know what? She sounds like me when it comes to planning, because I have to plan everything to a T, or else my mind is gonna go crazy.
It's gonna go crazy. It's like, oh shoot, I got this I gotta do. Like, I have to, or at least I gotta write it down somewhere. Like, I was telling you, I have a lot of sticky notes and just whiteboards all over my room. Remember to do this, or I'll put it on my calendar. Look at board 1, look at board 2. Like, on some weird, crazy.
I ain't like that, but you know what? We do have a lot of things in common, and that's how I feel like we get along so good. You know?
We do.
Yeah, this conversation was so amazing. Thank you so much, Kayla, for being a part of the podcast. Episode 5. Wow,
that's a big one.
Amazing.
That's great.
Third interview
for you. This has always been Mel, like, just talking and like getting to know people. And like,
you remember when I was putting them cameras in y'all face?
Yes, like the first day she met us, she has a camera out, like, so guys, look at my vlog, and you know, but it's just always been her. Like, this is so you, and I'm just so glad to be a part of it. I can't wait to see how big it gets.
Yes, we definitely would love you back here on the podcast. We're always constantly growing. You know, we're gonna get better, so we need you back, especially to hear about your growth in the future, because I already know it's only up from here.
It's gonna be huge. Please know that. The next time that I come on this, you're gonna be asking me about how's tour with such and such. I'm gonna let you know, yeah, this person was great. So be on the lookout for that, because that's gonna happen.
Yes. Any parting words you want to tell any supporters or listeners that are watching this podcast?
Thank you for always supporting me. Y'all truly give me a lot of inspiration. I will say that. Don't always look at me as KG, the Prince and J set, because I feel like my time has came and went, and I'm okay with that. And I feel like some of you all need to be okay with that. My time has came and went. So like, you don't always have to compare me to people. I don't have to be compared to this person. Like, I want y'all to now start looking at me as like an actual dancer who's moving on to her next journey of dance, and just supporting that. And I know that, you know, my true supporters will do that, and I'm just thanking y'all in advance for that. So
thank you so much for watching. If you guys are new to this podcast, welcome, and make sure you guys rate this. If you guys are watching on Spotify or any type of listening platform, make sure you guys rate this podcast 5 stars. If you guys are watching, make sure you guys go smash that subscribe button and join the family, and smash that notification bell so you know whenever I make a new post. Thumbs up this video. And we will catch you on the next episode of Melody Almay TV, the podcast.
yes.